What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Starting this one off, we finally were able to get internet yesterday at the new compound and it is sick. We were really hoping that the internet wasn't going to be too bad out there since it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, and we were able to get, I think, like 40 down, 40 up for upload speed, which is sick. So my first stop today was coming to the old warehouse and grabbing some stuff. So I loaded up my entire setup, my entire desk, everything like that. It's all in the store, just loaded up, full of stuff, trunks full, and we're gonna head over to the new compound and set all this stuff back up again. So it's a good weekend, it's a chill one, and I'm excited to be fully operating out of the new space. So good.
Before we get started on today's video, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to this video sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. Now, if you enjoy filming and editing as much as I do, you will absolutely love Skillshare. They have tons of classes about filming. Some top classes I can list off are how to film and edit travel montages, creating original and engaging content, and filming creative scene transitions on a budget. But the class that I've been enjoying in particular was Marques Brown's YouTube Success class. His class will teach you from start to finish how to script, film, and edit an entire video. And I think for anyone that's as interested in filming and editing as I am, I think you would love his class. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning that there's no ads and they're always launching new premium classes so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. Skillshare is incredibly affordable. It's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership so you can explore your creativity. There's nothing better than getting better. Accomplishing growth is extremely satisfying, and Skillshare's online classes make it possible. When I was starting out filming and editing way back in 2010, 2011, 12, I had no one to guide me, and it was basically just learning as I went, and it took me years and years, and I'm still learning how to perfect my filming and editing. And I wish back then I had something like Skillshare that I could watch and learn tips and tricks from. So the fact that you have this incredibly valuable source of information online that's free for 3 months is really cool. Each class is around an hour long and is just full of helpful information. So I hope you guys check out Skillshare. Like I said, the first 1,000 people to click the link in my description will get 3 months free of Skillshare Premium membership. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it.
In the last video, you guys saw the potential office spaces that I had. I had either the gym spot, which I'm pretty sure is going to be the official move-in spot. We just have to move all of the equipment. I would much prefer that room over the room that has the door. But either way, that room's fully functional and ready to go right now. So I moved everything in today, and check it out. Come in, still very bland, but look at this. I got all the gear on the wall, got my little computer set up, printer, cameras, everything. Still very crudely set up, but everything is officially here and no longer at the other spot. So all content will be filmed basically from here now on, which is really cool. Once everyone is here and operating, we'll probably end up taking everything out of that gym, putting it in the house, and then that will be the spot. We can move this desk over there, all my gear, make that either a huge media room or turn this into a media room like some of you guys were saying with the green screen on this wall and the photo white backdrop on the other side. There's a ton of possibilities, but I'm pumped to have my own little setup going, and it's really cool.
All right, well, it looks like the tire mounted up. I haven't done a spray test yet, but it seems to be holding air pretty well. Instead of going with Achilles, I went with Nankang's this time. Also not very good of a tire, but it was cheap. If it can get me to the compound, I'll be happy. But yeah, still a pretty crazy amount of stretch. Not really too keen on how much it is, but I'm just gonna bump the PSIs up a little higher. And I don't have the other wheel with me, but I do have a new tire for it. So I'm gonna run back to the house, put this wheel on, that way I can move the car, take the other wheel off, come back, then swap tires, then go get the car and hopefully bring it to the compound.
All right, so just got the wheel back on the front. It definitely has a lot more tire to it than the other tire did. Obviously I wore through it all, but car seems to roll, which is great. Wheel still seems to be holding air, which is awesome. I was for sure certain that that barrel had cracked. No saying that it won't crack in the future, because now it's all scuffed up and it could, you know, have formed a stress fracture somewhere that you don't know yet, or I don't know. But right now, wheel is all back together, holding air, and I'm gonna switch to the other side, grab the other wheel, take it back to the shop, and put the other new tire on it, because if this tire was this bad, I'm sure the other one's just as bad. I did see a lot of people in the comments in the last video saying that they were not a fan of the stance on this car. And if I gotta be honest, after all of the debeating and stuff that I've had to go through, I'm not a huge fan of it either. I might be trying to switch it up in the future, and either that or just go back to, you know, fender to lip, not tuck the front, not as much camber, things like that. I'm not sure yet. But I'm definitely on the debate table for changing up the way that this car drives, because I don't want to debeat again. It's not fun. I don't think to anyone it would ever be fun. And these wheels are nice, and I hate having to keep replacing barrels for them because they were really expensive. So yeah, let's take the other wheel off, go back to the shop, and put that one on. I'm curious to see what the tire is, what the tire wear is on that one too. So surprisingly, this side was a lot better than the other side. Kind of expected. I mean, it's still really bad, but it's not showing cord. It's not anything like the other side was. That just goes to show how bad my front alignment is. So I definitely need to get that checked, get that all sorted out, because I am tired of doing this. So I'm gonna load this one up, swap the tire, have some fresh rubber for the drive, and we should be good to hopefully take this thing to the compound. All right, so that is it. I got both front wheels back on, both tires back on. They seem to be holding air perfectly fine. Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna check all the pressures, make sure they're good, and we can take this thing over to the compound finally and figure out where we're going from there with this car. But I got both the girls here and they look good. Old Toyotas truly never get old. They just always look so good.
So some of you might know from Adam's most recent video, I convinced him to get a Celsior for a daily. I remember every single time that he would be in this car when it was stock, that he absolutely loved it, and then I ruined it. LS400 seems to be driving fine, which I'm pumped for. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. There's a lot of wood in here I can knock on, so hopefully we stay good. But thankfully he's with me, so if anything does happen, he can assist. But
never in my day would I think Adam would ever own an LS400, and it's kind of crazy. What else is crazy is seeing the height difference of these cars. I have probably a solid 8-inch drop on my car compared to the stock height. It's freaking crazy.
But anyway, now it's time to get into the whole reason why you clicked on this video. So back in September of 2020, I started getting all of the Century front end parts together for this car. It took about 6 months or so to gather all the parts, get them all together, get them in a crate, get them all the way from Japan to Florida. Now, all throughout that process, I was under the assumption that the front end swap was a little more doable than it actually is, just because the Century chassis and the LS400 chassis, at least the UCF20, was relatively the same. So I figured I'll get the front end parts here. I'll take, a month or two and get the panels put on, all fabricated up, ready to go. But then I realized it wasn't that easy.
So I sat down and I did a bunch more digging, and turns out the people that have done this swap, which is like 2 people, it took them years and years to do the swap fully completed. And I also realized that in the video when I started putting the fenders on the car and mocking them up on the LS400, how much different the cars actually are underneath. Now, I don't want to say that I'm fully giving up on doing the Century front end swap on this car, but right now I'm gonna put it on the back burner. I know a lot of you guys were interested in seeing that go down, especially once the car got here, because I'd have my own space to work on it and I could just tear the car apart. But after realizing the amount of time that it'll take to do it to this car, plus the risk of destroying the front end on this car in the process and having to source an entirely new LS400 front end, I think it just makes the most sense to me to put it off. I'm not gonna get rid of the Century front end. I'm still gonna hold on to it, just in case in the future I do end up doing it. Now here's the big news. I have a very, very valid reason as to why I do not want to continue doing the Century front end swap on this car, at least for now. So before I even had the Century front end swap for this car, back in December, it was around my birthday, I was searching Japan for a car, and I found that car. It was a Toyota Century. It was in my perfect spec, grade 3, interior B. So as a birthday present to myself, I purchased that Century. This has been a car that I have wanted for a very, very long time. It's kind of the king of all Japanese luxury vehicles. Now, I can't say for certain when, but I can say that it is happening, and that is the valid reason for me wanting to put the LS400 front end swap on the back burner. To me, that was a pretty big announcement, new car coming to the channel, but I don't have it yet, and all I can give you is my word. But I wanted to give you guys the validity and the clarification of knowing why I am not going to be front end swapping the LS400. I got a Century. I think that's pretty cool. I will keep you guys updated on when that plans on happening, but right now all I can give you is my word. And in the last video when I mentioned I was saving up for a car, and one of my dream cars, it wasn't the Century. So I have another car coming by the end of April that I will be hopefully announcing to you guys around that time, and I cannot wait to make videos with that car. It's gonna be awesome. But now I have both my cars here. The LS400's here safely, the Soarer is here. I'm gonna continue saving money up until I can afford that dream car and make whatever videos I can in between to keep you guys entertained. So once again, thank you for your patience. I have more merch stuff coming soon, which I will keep you guys all updated on. Thank you again for all of your support. Thank you once again, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. It's companies like you that help keep the channel going and keep the projects coming. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.